Hi, gorgeous ones. Today I want to talk to you about why following your heart isn't the full story and isn't going to get you by itself in alignment with your purpose. Now, the reason I wanted to talk to you about this is I often hear people just talk about, my heart and my mind are in alignment, so I know I'm on the right track and all I've got to do is listen to my heart. And that's all really great. But there is another layer there that you're missing. And that is the knowing that is housed within your soul. And that's what I really want to just give you a bit more insight about today. So yes, your mind and heart, having those in alignment is really important. So when we talk about your mind, let's be clear. Your mind is the strategizing, the thinking, the reasoning, the weighing things up. And we need it. Your mind is so important. Human beings have got to this point in the world because they have minds. And that's awesome. But our minds are also those pesky things that tell us those stories that lead to self-doubt, self-sabotage, anxiety, the who are you, you're not good enough, what makes you think you can do that, they're all looking at you, they're judging you, all those kinds of stories. So your mind can be a force for good in your life and also a force for the not so good. And then we have your heart. Now your heart and your desire is something that is, when operating by itself without your mind, your heart will call you in a particular direction. Your heart's desire. It might be your heart's desire to have a particular kind of relationship, to have a particular kind of impact in the world. Whatever it is, you know what is in your heart. It's that thing that just whispers to you, oh, but I just want this. I want that thing. And it's beautiful and it's full of love. Okay, because obviously your heart's where your love hangs out. And people often say, I just need to follow my heart and everything will be okay. And then with my mind and my heart are in alignment, then I know I'm definitely, on track and that my mind has caught up with me. But here's the thing, it's not the full story. Because underpinning both those things, I think we could say that your soul is the underpinning of everything that you are and everything you are here to be in this lifetime. Your soul has an inner knowing that resides within it. This is your intuition. Now, people will call this your gut instinct. And so sometimes people might say alignment between your mind, heart, and gut. Whatever you want to call it, I don't mind. It's up to you, however you best relate. But the ultimate thing to understand is your intuition is something that we all have access to. We all have access to an intuitive knowing which resides within our soul. And that intuitive knowing can be our early warning system and also the system we use to know that we are on the right track, or the system that kind of shows us things that aren't quite in alignment. But the problem is that when we get our heart open and we just, oh, that's what I want, and our mind along for the journey, we can often ignore the intuitive signposting that our soul is giving us because our mind and our heart are hogging the floor, basically. They're on center stage, up the front, in front of the audience, and your soul's inner knowing is behind the scenes going, actually, they're probably in the wings. If you use that stage analogy, they're probably in the wings behind the curtain, whispering the actual correct next line, but your mind and heart are going another way. Let me give you an example of what this might look like in practical terms, and I'll use an example of a romantic relationship. And this is something that has definitely happened to me, and I reckon if you have been a single woman for any period of time, it has probably happened to you too. But bearing in mind, just because I'm going to talk about a relationship, it doesn't mean it only applies there. This kind of intuitive signposting occurs in all parts of your life. Your soul is constantly giving you signposts. Hey, look for this, look for that. So let's talk about this one example. You are dating a guy. You might have been going out, might have had a few dates, 3 or 4, or maybe you've been going out for 3 or 4 months. And at this point, your heart has completely fallen for this guy. You might have even admitted to yourself and maybe to him that you are in love with him. And your heart is just feeling the magic of that and the beauty of that. And overlaying this, of course, is your mind. Sorry about the truck noise there. Your mind, which is very reasoning and logical, has spent quite a few weeks saying to you, oh, but watch out for this and make sure he's not like that other guy, and are you really sure, and are you good enough for him, and all these kinds of stories that our mind loves to tell us, right? Is he really finding you attractive? Is he checking out that other girl? What about his ex? All this kind of stuff. But at some point, your mind lets go and goes, okay, heart, I'm with you. I'm going to trust. We're going into this place of trust in this relationship. And your heart is like, whoa, this guy's so amazing. And your mind's like, yeah, this could work. Like, I could see that we could be together longer term, and then he could move in here, and we could do this together, etc., etc. And you start to do all these kind of stories around that, right? You have done this. If you, I know you can relate. But here's the thing. One day, you'll be getting ready to go somewhere, and he might say something. You might say to him, oh, so we'll catch up early next week and blah, blah, blah. And instead of responding in the usual way, which is like, yep, no worries, I'll be here this date, etc., he does this thing where he kind of looks away or looks down, or there's some kind of subtle shift there that's almost imperceptible to the human eye. And he says, oh yeah, I've just got to do some things, I'll come back to you about it. Or words like that. And just for a millisecond, there will be part of you that'll go, oh, what was that? Because it'll be like a little bump, right? Like a speed bump, like hang on. But very quickly, another second later, your heart and your mind will step in and go, oh, that wasn't anything. He's so amazing, etc., etc. And so your mind just will rationalize out that intuitive signpost that something is not quite right. Fast forward a few days and things come out in your relationship with this man that show you very clearly that he wasn't on the same page as you. And that little speed bump that you consciously chose to ignore at the heart and the head level was a sign that something wasn't right. Now, I'm sure you will have lots of different examples that could be running through your mind right now of when you've had this kind of intuitive signpost and your mind and your heart has stepped in and dismissed it. And then fast forward a few days, few weeks, few years, and you've just gone, oh, damn. I saw it, it was right there, but I ignored it. I ignored my own inner knowing. So this is why it's really important to learn how to tune into your intuition and your inner knowing so that your head and heart, they can be in alignment, and that's awesome and that's what you want, but you really need to make sure that at your soul level, at that inner knowing, intuitive level, that is also in alignment. Otherwise, you may well come unstuck. So I'm going to leave you with that thought today. Are you checking into your intuition? Do you even know how to do that? Do you need someone to help you do that? If you do, reach out, because that's something I specialize in. And really learn how to trust that feeling, because that is your soul looking out for you and letting you know right track, wrong track. But it's really important that you learn how to listen to that. Take care, and I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.